So good day to you, Nedal, Sydney. Tell us, first of all, how's your gym doing? Who are the kids that you are training? And how's the boxing going?
Things are good. Boxing's picked up in Australia. It's not the number one playing sport in the country, but it's picked up. People want to get into self defense. I train people for fitness, not for fighters. I don't
Mm,
invest in fighters. I don't want fighters. So I get people. They come in, they hit the bag, they do some pads, and they go home happy.
okay, so your boxing gym is purely for fitness, not for amateurs or professional boxers.
I've got a few amateur boys, young fellas, but I'm not doing professional. Once they get professional, I'll send them to my brother's gym. My brother looks after the professionals.
Okay. All right. Well, Nedal, we saw your post on your Instagram and your Facebook about your reaction to the interview of international referee Carlos Padilla. So, tell us, were you surprised at what he said, and how did it make you feel?
I was, mate. Like we're in the sport. We're in the sport to get a fair shake. We When we travel, we want a 50-50 fight. We want the referee to be neutral. We don't
Mm,
want him to favor. It's hard enough that we jump on a plane, we drive, we fly 9 hours, we're away from our family, and then to have the referee against you as well in the fight, it's 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 heartbreaking because he's taking something away from you.
mhm.
Uh,
So, did you feel that throughout the fight? Because I watched the fight again. Did you feel that he was not favoring you, like favoring Manny the whole time?
I think the whole listen. I did some unethical things. People call me a dirty fighter. I did things because the referee kept He frustrated me through the whole fight, through the count, through the headbutt. I told him it was a headbutt. He told me no, it wasn't. So I did things that were unethical because he took things out of my hands. So I did things out of desperation. I just
Mm,
kept verbally talking the whole way through. Don't hold him. Let go of him. Don't do that. I'll disqualify you for this.
mm.
Constantly verbally was having a go, and he never warned Manny. Manny was holding numerous times. Manny was tying up for dear life. He never once gave Manny a warning or even a point deduction.
I see, I see. So he was constantly talking to you throughout and telling you all kinds of things. Now, the statement that he made about when you knocked down Manny in the fourth round and he gave him extra seconds to recover. Did you feel that then? And how do you feel about it now that he has said this?
I knew about it. I knew straight away. I knew when we got back to I didn't know, but I knew when we got back to the corner, the referee had a go at Carlos, and he goes, it was a long count. Carlos ignored it. Uh, then he took a point off me, which was even worse. After Manny got back up, and I couldn't push Manny off me because Manny was holding the ropes. He took a point off me because I palmed him off with my elbow. I didn't elbow him, but I palmed him off because a fighter's instinct is when he's got a fighter hurt, is that he wants to knock him out. We're in the game to hurt. It's the hurt business. I want to hurt Manny. Manny wants to hurt me. So
Yeah.
at any cost. So why is he taking that away from me? He said he did it purposely to prolong it, to give Manny more recovery. And he said it blatantly. He said, Manny's Filipino, I'm Filipino, the crowd is Filipino. So he's racist as well. He's not only not fair, but he's a racist in saying what he said.
Now, why do you think he's saying these things now? 22 years later, he's 88 years old.
Because he's got nothing to lose no more. He's no longer in the game. He's no longer getting paid for it. So, and he says it with a tone of arrogance. He was laughing through it. So, and he didn't forget nothing. He knew everything. So people could say to me, "Oh, he's old. He's senile. Maybe he wants the limelight." No, mate. He said everything to detail. The only thing he got wrong was my name. He called me Hashim and not Hussein. That's the only thing he got wrong. Because I told him in the eighth round that it was a headbutt. That many, but we bumped heads. He said, no, no, no. And he made it clear in his interview that he knew it was a headbutt because Manny was a smaller fighter at the time.
Yeah. So now that this has come out and, I guess there's nothing, I mean, have you communicated with the WBC? Have they Have they communicated back to you? I mean, what can happen?
We've emailed the WBC. We're still waiting on him. They're having a. They said they're doing an investigation
Oh, they
towards,
said
not towards me, but towards Carlos Padilla's talking. So,
yes.
I mean, they sort of made an excuse for him that his old age. Maybe he misses the limelight. He wants to get back in the limelight. But that's the WBC for you. They sugarcoat everything. They never take responsibility. They blame anything and everything on someone else. And that's why they've been sued numerous times before. We don't want to sue the WBC. We don't want to investigate with the GBA of Filipino boxing. We're not asking to overturn the decision or we want compensation for loss of income. We're not doing that. We just want the wrong to be returned to right. We want it to be a no contest, you know. So Manny wasn't the winner and I wasn't the loser. So we just want a no contest. We don't want him to overturn it. We don't want him to take the crown off Manny and say, he's skinny, we're going to award you with a belt. We don't want that. We just want a no contest.
So you would like the WBC to declare that match as a no contest result. And what
Yes.
would that do for you?
It does nothing for me now because it's 2022, but it sheds light on future events, on future fighters when they have to travel. Because in New South Wales, there's a big stigma going around, or in Australia, that don't go to the Philippines, do not go to Thailand, do not go to Indonesia if you're the B side, because you're not going
Oh,
to get a fair shake. And that's why you don't see many Australian fighters or many good fighters from Australia fighting in the Philippines or in Thailand, because they know they're not going to get a fair shake. But you see them going to England, you see them going to Japan, you see them going to America, because they think they have a better rate of winning there.
okay. So what you're saying is now the reputation, the talk now is that if you want to have a chance of winning, don't come to the Philippines or Thailand. Best to go to other countries. So you're trying to do it for future fights so that it won't happen again.
Future awareness, and so judges and referees are held accountable. We've seen fighters, we've even seen Filipino fighters come to Australia and win fights and not get the decision. That's not fair on them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there should be no politics in boxing.
Yeah. But in our, of course, in our experience in boxing, you've seen it. There have been some crazy decisions all around the world. And I mean, what to do about this in the sport of boxing?
Because judges are not held accountable, referees are not held accountable for anything, and a lot of the referees are in their 50s and 60s, and they're not even fit to. They're not even in a healthy shape. How are they refereeing a fight? Carlos Padilla was 66 years old. What's he
Okay.
doing? What's he doing in
Yeah.
the ring at 66?
Yeah. So you're saying there should be younger judges, younger referees, right?
Yes, there should be, but because it's a hard job, no one wants to do it. No one wants to be blamed. So I don't want to be a referee or a judge. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want someone coming up to me after the fight and saying you gave the fight to the wrong guy, or you don't know how to judge, or get verbally abused for it. So fighters don't want to be. Say a lot of the referee and judges have never had a fight before, so they cannot relate to the sport, or they cannot relate to a fighter being robbed before. So a fighter doesn't mind losing. I don't mind losing fair and square. But I don't like when you take something that's mine. If I won the fight, give it to me. If I lose the fight, I cop it on the chin and I move on.
Yes. I was speaking to one of the analysts in the fight, and he said that well, the doctor did eventually stop the fight in the 10th round, but he said Manny was still leading in points. Do you agree?
Yeah, he was. They told me that he was leading by 2 points on two judges and 1 point and 3 points on the other judge. So even if you called it a cut eye, Manny was still going to win the fight. I have never ever said that I was winning the fight. I was going to knock Manny out. But I do say that the fourth round, the fight shouldn't have got out of the fourth round. Manny was very hurt, So he put the fighter's risk at danger. If the fighter can't make the 10 count, then he's not fit to continue. So why would you put a fighter's risk at, like, Manny was. He said that Manny was cross-eyed. Manny
Yeah.
needed more time to recover. So why would you let a fighter keep fighting?
No,
Because he
yeah.
can get injured in the ring.
So you actually put Manny in danger. What would you like? So you're still waiting on the WBC, huh? At least they got back to you and said that they were going to investigate.
They said no. He said it on a platform yesterday on the Zone. He said it on a different platform. He said that
Oh,
we're gonna put some. They're gonna watch the video and make out what Carlos Padilla his intention was. So they're just watering it down. That's the WBC for you. They don't take fault or blame for anything. Carlos Padilla was their man on the night. He worked for the WBC on the night, and he was responsible for what happened on the night.
yeah. All right. Well, is there anything that if we put this on here, is there anything that you'd like to say to first of all the WBC and then maybe to Carlos Padilla and finally to Manny?
I have no problems with Manny whatsoever. I've seen Manny after the fight in Vegas. I seen him in Memphis, Tennessee. We fought on the same undercard, so I shake Manny's hand every time. Manny's a gentleman. Manny's a victim as well.
Yeah.
Like Manny's a bigger victim than I am because they're taking something off Manny as well. But it's not Manny's fault. It's Carlos Padilla's fault. And at the end of the day, Carlos Padilla is a criminal. He did something that's against the rules. He did something very unethical. If there was match fixing in basketball, whoever was doing the match fixing will get locked up. Carlos Padilla was fixing a fight, whether it was for the promoter, because he said in the interview that we wanted you to stay in the Philippines because this is a big fight for Manny. If he wins this fight, he goes on to fight for a world title. So, because he was never meant to be the referee. They said the referee was meant to be American, but he ended up being an American Filipino. So we were shocked. So because he was licensed in America.
Oh, okay. How are you now, Nedal? So your boxing gym is doing good, and
We're good.
that's good. I hear you have a car sales business, or you're no longer doing that.
No, I'm no longer doing that. I did that 5 years ago. I closed it and I opened the boxing gym. So I run private classes and group classes, most nights a week. So I'm there 8 hours a day and it's good. It's rewarding. I see young people, they get bullied, they defend themselves. So I'm happy in what I do.
All right. Well, we'll be in touch with you in case you hear from the WBC. Please give us a shout out. But have they ever reversed any decision after a protest and much more like something like this, which is 22 years like later?
Well, the latest one, the reverse, was 31 years later, and that was Jeff Fennick against Zuma Nelson. So, and Jeff Fennick was my trainer on the night.
Oh, yes, yes. I met Jeff Pinnick in Los Angeles one time before, I think there during fight week of Manny.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, Nedal, thank you so much for talking to us, and I wish you and your family well and have a blessed Christmas. And I hope that this turns out good for you.
I'll show you something because that's my trophy cabinet.
Wow.
Yeah, Carlos took one belt from me. So Carlos owes me a belt. Okay, just so you know.
Can you show us that? Can you show us that again?
Okay, that's
Wow, that's a lot of belts.
yeah.
So
I'm missing one more. I'm missing one more, but so Carlos owes me a green and gold belt.
God bless you.
Anytime. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.